Hello, everybody, and welcome to the November edition of Carlisle Community Forum from the Council on Aging. It's a beautiful November morning, and we're happy to have one of our most helpful and supportive members of the town as our guest today. And I'll introduce him in a moment, but I'd just like to tell you who's here today with us. We have supporting or representing the Friends of the Council on Aging, Vanessa Maroney. Hi, Vanessa is here. Of course, Joan Ingersoll, the director of the COA, is hosting our meeting, ably assisted by Angela Smith, the outreach and program manager, and produced and directed by Chuck Bagnashi, our technical support today, who always does a great job. So I'm Kerry Kissinger, and I'd like to, the topic of today's meeting, most of it is going to be about, the Medicare open enrollment period. This is the time we all dread because there's so many choices we are forced to confront as we think about Medicare for next year. But let's not get into that. Let's get back to Joan and talk about what's happening, Joan.
Well, hello, everyone. Thank you, Carrie. There's a lot going on at the COA as usual. We're getting ready for our Thanksgiving lunch, which we're going to be handing out at the fire station on Saturday. And we're working hard to try to bring cheer to people during the holiday season. I know it's a different time for everyone, for all of us, but we want everyone to know that you can call us and we're here for you and we're here to support you and try to help you during this difficult period in any way we can. So I also want to say I appreciate all the work that Angela put into this program, and thank you to Carrie for being the MC, and to Chuck and Vanessa and Clyde, who is our a man who wears many hats. Not only is he the Shine counselor and our resident expert on all things Medicare, but he is also a volunteer who handles our entire medical equipment program. And for that, we're very grateful because that's a very important program for seniors, and it's one of our most popular and most frequently used programs. So Angela and I will talk to you more specifically about what's going on in December later in the program, but I don't want to take any more time before we, give Clyde a chance to inform us. So thanks to all.
Well, it is that time of year when we can change our Medicare offerings. And Clyde has been the Shine rep for quite some time. Now, Shine is an acronym, SHINE, and it aptly stands for Serving Health Insurance Needs of Elders. And I can personally attest to Clyde's, not only his knowledge, but his very supportive way of helping us. Because last year, about this time, when I was facing the myriad of decisions about our healthcare, Clyde sat down with me and we worked out a program. And when the dust settled, I saved over $1,800 by asking Clyde to help me. That's real money. And not only was it real money, but it was money that was spent in the most effective way to serve the particular healthcare needs of our family. So in terms of dealing with the myriad choices that you have for Medicare, you have different premiums, you have different copays, you have certainly different medication needs, you have different frequency of seeing different doctors. There are all of these variables that go into it. And it seems a lot more daunting than going down the cereal aisle at Demula's and picking out which cereal tastes and looks the best for you, because you only make this decision once a year. And it is complex, can be complex. But I gotta say, thank goodness that we have all of the options that are available to us, because as you will hear in the next 20 or 30 minutes from Clyde, it's not one size fits all. You can choose the option that best meets the needs of you and your family, and he's here to help you do it. So without me jawboning anymore, Clyde, thank you so much for all you've done for me and my family. and for all you've done for the town. So good morning, Clyde.
Good morning. Thank you. And Carrie, I'm so glad to hear that I saved you so much money. That makes me feel good. And, you know, it's true that Medicare is complicated and hard to understand. When people are getting insurance through work, usually there's some kind of a HR department who shops around for health insurance plans, and they boil them down to 2 or 3 choices that are then presented to the employees to choose from. And when people leave their work and go on to Medicare, they are suddenly shocked to discover that there are 60 different choices and they have to make the decisions themselves. Well, so that's what all of us SHINE counselors, and actually there are, you know, nationwide, there's a program, it's called SHIP nationwide. Here in Massachusetts, we do everything different and we call it SHINE. But our goal is to sort of step in where the HR department stepped out and help you get through it. I'm going to talk about a few issues in Medicare this year. But before I start, I really need to kind of do a little bit of an overview of what are the various pieces of Medicare and how they fit together. And I just cannot talk about these things without bringing this picture up. It helps me understand and remember, and it kind of gives you a graphical image of how Medicare works. On the chart, you can see here all these colored boxes that represent the different parts of Medicare. The green boxes are your basic Part A and Part B. And then on top of that, you can add in a drug plan, that's the yellow box, or a Medigap plan, that's the blue box, and the Medicare Advantage is the orange. And we distribute a package of information sheets that go along with this picture, and they're color coded to match. So there's going to be an orange sheet that lists all the different Medicare Advantage plans that are available. And there's a yellow sheet for the drug plans and a green sheet for the Medicare Part A and B, and the blue sheets for the Medigap. These data sheets give you the raw information to help decide what plan you want. And then I'm available, or other SHINE counselors are available through all the Council on Aging in Massachusetts to help you wade through them. The Medicare, on the left-hand side of the picture is Medigap and Part D drug plans. That's sort of the a la carte system where you pick a drug plan and you pick a Medigap plan, and you can go see any doctor you want in the country. You don't need referrals. It's a great plan. There's no copays. There are some deductibles on some of the plans. The disadvantage is there's a relatively high premium associated with the Medigap plans and the drug plans. Your alternative is the right-hand side of the picture are the Medicare Advantage plans, which are HMOs or PPOs. All of your Medicare, all of your health cover is covered by your HMO or your PPO. The way it works is Medicare pays the insurance company about $1,000 a month and says to the insurance company, you're responsible for this beneficiary. No matter how much it costs, you have to take care of them for that fixed fee of $1,000 a month. Now, it turns out that that's plenty of money to take care of most people, and the insurance companies do just fine. And they offer Medicare Advantage plans with low premiums, typically zero. You're paying your Medicare Part B premium, but the Medicare Advantage plan has, you get that for free for no additional premium. And that includes your health coverage and your drug coverage. But there are copays. The disadvantage of these plans are you have to live with the HMO or PPO doctors network rules. And there's a copay every time you get any kind of medical service whatsoever. And it can be substantial. For a hospitalization, the copay can be as much as $390 a day. So you pay a low premium and you have potentially expensive copays. And that's kind of the trade-off between the two sides of this page. On the right, the Medicare Advantage, low copays if you're healthy. Low premiums. And if you're healthy, then your copays are going to be minimal and you can do very well. On the left-hand side, you have a relatively high premium, and you're basically prepaying for unlimited health coverage and with no doctor's network. So it's kind of carefree. The people who choose this on the left-hand side, which is known as original Medicare, are somebody who wants carefree health coverage. Don't worry about doctors' networks. Don't worry about copays. And as long as you can afford the premium, then that's great. If you're healthy and you're willing to put up with an HMO and you want to save the money, then Medicare Advantage is a good choice. But you do have to be willing to take that risk, the risk of a low premium and having high copays.
So as you've taught me, Clyde, in this slide, it's the left of it says pay me now. The right side says pay me later. And I'm reminded of that insurance ad on TV with the funny looking bird, only pay for what you need. And the right side is only pay for what you need, but you might need a lot more than you think. So there is some risk in that. So
exactly.
That's how I look at it.
The risk is limited by there's an out-of-pocket maximum. The $0 plans, the out-of-pocket maximum is in the neighborhood of $7,000 typically. So that's kind of the limit of your risk. Now, how do you pick? Suppose you decide you want to get one of these plans. How do you pick it? Well, there's a tool that we use. Our go-to tool is called the Medicare Plan Finder. It's a tool built by the Medicare. It's the official federal government tool. And it helps you compare the costs of all the various plans, especially the drug plans. So if you're comfortable with the internet, you can create a My Medicare account. You create this online account with Medicare, and it gives you access to all of your Medicare status, your claims, what preventative services you're currently eligible for, and more. But it also gives you access to the Medicare Plan Finder. And this Plan Finder, it knows about all of the standalone drug plans. There's 27 of them. And it knows about all of the Medicare Advantage plans. There are 33 of them. And it's up, you're trying to pick which of these plans, and you're not going to make a phone call to 60 different plans and price out what your drugs cost. It's just not reasonable. So instead, you can use this Plan Finder. It's the tool that I use when I'm helping somebody pick a drug plan, but it's user-friendly. Anybody can use it themselves, or I can work with you and we can use it together, and I can teach you some of the tricks of how to use the system. Or for some people, I just do it all by myself and give them the result. The Shine counselors are willing to work with you any way that's convenient, any way that works best for you. I like to use it with a beneficiary over Zoom, or I do it over the phone. Currently, we're not having in-person meetings because of COVID. So to using this Plan Finder, the first step is to create a My Medicare account. You can either go to medicare.gov or mymedicare.gov. They both take you to more or less the same place. Once you've created your account, you type in a list of all of your current prescription medicines, and you let the system do its magic. It will remember that list of prescriptions, so you don't have to re-enter it the next time you come in to use the system. So what it does is it lists out all of the drug plans available in order of increasing cost. So the first one on the list is the one that's going to be the cheapest and most cost-effective for you. some people are not comfortable with the internet, or they just don't want to create yet another online account. That's very understandable, and it's okay. You can use this system without creating an online account. Either you or I can still type in a list of prescriptions, and the system will do all the cost checking. The only problem is that when we close the browser window, the data is gone, and the next time you go in, you have to start over from scratch. But that's okay. I mean, I don't have a problem with that. And if you don't want to create an online account, that's no problem.
I remember, Clyde, when I used it with you, you know, costs were one thing, one sort of important dimension of the question, but they also, for all these various options, they showed how user-friendly are they? How would the users or the customers rate them in terms of service? So you got 4 stars or 3 stars or 5 stars, and you might find a plan that's really inexpensive, but when you call them with a question, you're on hold for 45 minutes. So that's not exactly a good deal. So it's not only cost information that you get, but you get some feedback, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but you get some feedback on how well they serve their customers.
Yep, it's a star rating that Medicare gives each plan based on customer feedback and a bunch of other internal information about how well the plan provides for the customer's needs. Currently, there is a 5-star Medicare Advantage plan that comes from Tufts. There used to be a 5-star drug plan, but they lost a half a star effective December 31st. Next year, there are no 5-star standalone drug plans. I have heard from a couple of people and I heard from somebody this morning about TV ads that advertise Medicare Advantage plans with a Part B premium reduction. These are Medicare Advantage plans that actually pay part of your premium for you. They're plastered over the TV now at this time of year. And the good news is that these plans do exist, but the bad news is there aren't any of them in Massachusetts. So these TV ads are either aiming for the New Hampshire market, or it's just a kind of a bait and switch to get you to sign up for the plan. You should always be careful about TV ads. But there is, in Massachusetts, there is a program that will pay your Part B premium if you have a low enough income. They're called Medicare savings programs, and there's a couple of different ones. They pay your Part B premium for you, and they automatically enroll you in a federal program called Extra Help, which pays most of your drug costs for you. And it also pays your drug program premium as well. The income limits are on the screen here. If you're single, it's $1,755 a month. And if you're married, $2,370 a month. And they also have asset limits, which these asset limits don't include your house or your car. If you have less than 15,000 or 23,000, then you can be eligible for this program. It's a very simple application. It's 2 sides of a piece of paper. You can get a copy of the application through the COA, or I can help you fill it out. I'm always available for any kind of assistance. You just get in touch with me through the COA. There's another program. It's brand new in 2021 to help with the high cost of insulin. It's called the Part D Senior Savings Model. It's targeted entirely towards insulin, and I don't know why they didn't put the word insulin in the title, but that's what they did. Insulin is normally covered under your Part D drug plan. So if you have one of those standalone drug plans, it's going to have coverage for insulin. If you have Medicare Advantage, that contains a drug plan built in, and that will cover your insulin. Unfortunately, it tends to be pretty expensive. And it varies a lot from one plan to another. It's very common to pay more than $50 a month for insulin. And then when you get into the donut hole or the coverage gap, the price shoots up to well over $100 a month. While at the same time, there are other plans that charge as little as $2 before you get to the donut hole, and then jump to over $100 in the donut hole. Many people use two types of insulin, and they have to double all these numbers. So it can be a problem, partly just the high cost, and partly because the costs are changing as the year goes on. So the senior savings model is an attempt to both reduce the cost and smooth them out so that it's a stable cost for the whole year long. It's a voluntary program that some of the insulin manufacturers and some of the drug plans participate in, but not all of them. Under this program, your insulin cost is fixed for the whole year. There's no deductible and there's no donut hole. There are 3 different price points depending on the plan and the insulin: $11, $25, or $35 for a 1-month supply. And that, like I said, that price is the same for the whole year. If you use 2 kinds of insulin, then you're going to have to double that. You can contact me through the Council on Aging or any other Shine counselor, and they'll help you make sure that you've got the right drug plan to work with this senior savings model. Now, there's another program in Massachusetts called Prescription Advantage. This is a state program which helps individuals with income below $3,200 a month and married couples with income below $4,300 a month. And there's no limit to your assets for this program. And this program is designed to help you with prescription costs in the donut hole. They limit, no prescription will cost you more than $30 a month when you're in the donut hole. So here we have 2 different programs which can help insulin users in the donut hole. If you use insulin and you're eligible for Prescription Advantage, then it's doubly important to contact a Shine counselor to make sure that you're on the right plan. Because some plans which do not participate in the insulin senior savings model work better with Prescription Advantage than a plan that's on the senior savings model. So it's kind of important, and it's not easy to figure out using the plan finder. You really need, you'll need a little bit of help to make sure you get the right plan. Kind of to wrap things up, if you're on Medicare and it's open enrollment, which is October 15th through December 7th, then it's time for you to take a look at that original picture that I showed and decide whether you want to be on original Medicare on the left or Medicare Advantage on the right. Go to original Medicare if you're seeing a lot of doctors and don't want to worry about the doctor's network, but you have to be willing to pay the higher premium. You can be on the right on Medicare Advantage if you don't use many health services and you want to save money on the premiums, and you're willing to live with the doctor's network and live with the risk of possibly high copays.
Those of us who've been on Medicare for quite some time have gotten used to the term donut hole and what that all means. But if I'm just going into my Medicare age and program for the first time, could you say a little bit about what the donut hole is and means?
Yeah, the donut hole it's officially called the coverage gap, and it applies to prescription drug plans. And it doesn't matter whether you have a standalone drug plan or whether you're getting your drugs through a Medicare Advantage plan. Either way, you may be faced with a donut hole or the coverage gap. And the way it works is for the first part of the year, your plan typically gives you pretty good coverage. On average, they cover about 25%, they cover about 75% of your drug costs, and you have to pay approximately 25% in copays. That's just a kind of an average number. It's any specific prescription will have its own rules about what you pay. But overall, you wind up paying about 25%. Well, the country pays about 25% overall. When you get to the donut hole, in the bad old days, there was no coverage at all during the donut hole. You would suddenly have to pay 100% of your prescription drugs. Now, over the years, that has moderated, and Obamacare, in some sort of a sense, it claims to have eliminated the donut hole. And it has eliminated it in the sense that once you get to the donut hole, you owe 25% of the cost of the drug. It's no longer a kind of a countrywide average, but every prescription you fill when you're in the donut hole is going to cost, you have to pay 25% of the retail cost. For some prescriptions, that means your cost goes up, and for some prescriptions, it means your cost goes down. As I was talking about insulin earlier, it's practically universally, your cost for insulin goes way up when you get to the donut hole. The timing of getting to the donut hole, it depends entirely on your individual situation, on what prescriptions you use. Typically, most people never get to the donut hole. Some people get to it right near the end of the year, October, November. Some people get to it in the middle of the year. There are a few astronomically expensive drugs that cost $6,000 a month that will get you into the donut hole on January 2nd. And then you'll spend the entire year, well, you'll be in the donut hole and you'll owe 25% of the cost of that drug. Fortunately, the donut hole comes to an end. After being in the donut hole for a period of time, you get into what's called catastrophic coverage, where the federal government pays 95% of the prescriptions and you pay 5%. So these people that have a prescription that costs $6,000 a month, they go in and out of the donut hole in January, and they spend the entire year under what's called catastrophic coverage, and they only have to pay 5% of the cost of the drug. That was an overly complicated description of the donut hole. If you've decided you want to be on Original Medicare, then you're going to use the plan finder to pick a drug plan. If you've decided you want to be on Medicare Advantage, then you're probably going to pick your Medicare Advantage plan based on your doctors. And then you use the plan finder to double check and make sure that you get adequate coverage for your prescriptions on that plan. And if it turns out that plan doesn't cover your prescription drugs, then you might want to rethink either go back to Original Medicare or pick a different Medicare Advantage plan. In any case, call your local council on aging to get help from a Shine counselor.
And the number is? The phone number is?
The phone number of the Council on Aging, 978-371-2895.
Clyde, thank you so much. That's thank you for your help to me and my family. And I just encourage everybody to think about if their needs have changed or if they would like to make sure they're on the best plan for them. Give Clyde a call and have him sit with you and help you through the process. It's much easier than you think it might be. And it's great that we have all these options to custom tailor our healthcare support to our own particular needs. So thank you very much, Clyde.
Before we let Clyde go, I have one question that I think people may have, which is what happens if they sign up for an Advantage plan and it's the middle of the year and they have a serious medical condition come up and they find that their Advantage plan isn't going to be able to work for them? Is there any chance that they can change to a Medigap plan at that point?
Well, the primary time to switch plans is open enrollment from October 15th through December 7th. However, there are a whole bunch of special rules that may let you switch plans during the year. One of them is if you're on Prescription Advantage. I mentioned that earlier. If you're a member of Prescription Advantage, which is free, then you can switch your plan anytime you want during the year. You get one extra chance to switch during the year. There's another special rule, which is January, February, and March, you're allowed to switch a Medicare Advantage plan or leave Medicare Advantage during January, February, and March. Another rule says during the first 12 months of being on a Medicare Advantage plan, you can drop it and go back to original Medicare. If you're happy with Medicare Advantage, you just want to switch to a different Medicare Advantage plan, then you're allowed to switch to any one of the Tufts plans because it has a 5-star rating and there's a special rule that lets you switch to a 5-star plan. There are a few other special rules that if you need help getting out of your current plan in the middle of the year, you can always contact me or another Shine counselor and we can kind of evaluate and see if there's anything that can help you.
Thanks very much, Clyde.
You're welcome.
Okay, Joan, do you want to talk about some of what's going on at the COA? You're muted.
Love to. As always, we have our transportation services available. Our transportation line is 978-371-6690. And our transportation is available to all seniors and to adults with disabilities in Carlisle. Right now, we're doing, giving people rides to medical appointments, but also other things that you might need. Grocery shopping, prescriptions, anything that you might need a ride for, you can give us a call. There's also the Carlisle Neighbor Response Team, and they're helping seniors actually do their shopping and picking up prescriptions and other essential items for them. And if you want to call the Carlisle Neighbor Response Team, which is a group of volunteers who are very dedicated to helping people who are staying home, especially during this time, that number is 978-254-0508, and all of their services are completely free. The other thing,
Sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, I was just gonna raise some of the fun things that we're doing. We do have a book group that gets together on a monthly basis, and that's being done by Zoom, and the next meeting is December 7th. And you can find out more about that through the Gleason Library, through Martha Patton. And we can give you that link if you don't have your newsletter handy. And we also have a poetry group run by Mary Zoll, and they get together and discuss readings and work on poetry. And Mary meets monthly as well. The next one is December 1st at 10:30. And we have 2 virtual coffees. So people can't get together in person, but virtually they do, one of which Chuck goes to every month. And that is on, the next one's November 30th. And then in December, it's the 14th and the 28th at 9:30 on a Monday morning. And that is called Virtual Senior Moments. And the other one is hosted by Shishi Van Ingwen. And Shishi gets people together twice a month and talks about whatever people have on their mind. And the next one of that is November 24th, December 1st, December 15th, and that starts at 1 p.m. as well. Joan.
Okay, so you may know that we have a new social worker on the team. Her name is Carol Grunike, and she has started a support group to specifically address people's feelings of isolation during COVID and to help people build resilience and share ideas with each other. And this is a Zoom group. It just started yesterday on Tuesdays from 11 to 11:45, but we still have space available. So if you're interested in joining the support group with Carol, you can call the COA 978-371-2895. Be a good way to meet other seniors and maybe, you know, share some of the things that have worked for you and hear what's been working for other people. The other thing I wanted to make sure everyone is aware of is this is fuel assistance season. So if you need fuel assistance, which means help with paying bills, not just for oil, but for gas, electricity, coal, wood, we have a lot of ways that we can help you. One is through a program, a federal program that's administered by the state called the Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program. But if your income limits are too great to qualify for that, there are other resources available in town that we can help you access. So please give us a call if you're having trouble meeting your heating needs this winter.
Vanessa, do you want to tell us a little bit what the Friends are up to?
Sure. Hi, everybody. So I'm here representing the Friends of the Carlisle Council on Aging. And just for anybody who's watching who's not sure about what the Friends do, the Friends is the fundraising arm for the Council on Aging, as the Council on Aging isn't allowed to legally raise money on their own. So the Friends take care of that. And particularly, it's been very important now during the pandemic, where there's been an incredible increase in the demands for Council on Aging services. So emergency funds from the Friends have been helping to keep programs going and meeting the increased demands. They're about 30% or more, I'm sure Joan can correct me if I'm wrong, of the population in Carlisle is senior citizens. So this is a really critical organization. And during this time of end of the year donations, we are so appreciative of any donations of any amount that we receive. So if anybody is in a position to donate, we will gratefully accept donations. They may be sent to the Friends of the Carlisle Council on Aging, or FOCCOA, PO Box 38, Carlisle, Massachusetts, of course, 01741. And also every year we send out a flyer telling a little bit more about some of the programs that we help support. And this year people can, everyone in Carlisle should receive that in their mailbox. I believe it's going in the mail right after Thanksgiving on the 27th of November. And there will also be a letter coming in, I believe this week's issue of the Mosquito. So if people need that contact information again about how to possibly make a donation, you can find that information there. So thank you so much. We're so pleased to contribute to all the wonderful things that the Council on Aging does. And of course, recognizing the great work of Angela Smith and how she will be leaving huge shoes to fill. But we're just so grateful for all that you have done as well, Angela. So I think that covers it from the Friends perspective. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Vanessa. And thank you also for all the things you make it possible for the COA to do, which we couldn't do without the support of the Friends. Joan, back to you.
Okay, well, I second that. Yes, thank you very much for so many things that people call and ask us, can you help with this? Can you help with that? And, you know, we do scholarships for people who, you know, exercise classes or podiatry or other things are just expensive for them. And we're able to help people that we definitely wouldn't be able to help. So it's greatly appreciated. So speaking of the Friends, there was a fall cultural series that the Friends and the Friends of the Public Library sponsored. There was Immigration with Jason Giannetti, The Cold War with Gary Highlander, and Music of the 20th Century. So if you didn't see these and you'd like to view them, you can call the library or call the COA, and we can give you the Zoom links so that you can still view these cultural offerings. And the other thing I wanted to mention is that we do have a French conversation group every Friday at 3 o'clock on Zoom. And if you'd like to join that, again, call the COA and we will let you know how to join that group. Angela.
Okay, so we have an exciting program coming up in January. It's going to be on the 31st. And once again, thank God for Zoom at 1 p.m. And you can call the COA to get the link for that and to register. And our COA number is 978-371-2895. It's on the myth, mystery, and spying. It's being presented by Henry Quinlan, who's the owner and publisher of Omni Publishing Company. And he spent 30 years being involved with the Soviet Union. He lived there for about 5 years. And so he's going to talk about a number of things. And I've heard people that have attended it, and they said it's a really interesting presentation. So on a glooming day in January, get the link and listen in for an hour of intrigue. Okay. We also have another craft program, thanks to Miriam Florimond. She is going to be doing coloring and conversation on January 12th and February 9th. And so you can come and pick up a kit of coloring pencils and coloring sheets and meet on Zoom on those dates at 2 o'clock and enjoy doing some very comforting and stress-reducing drawings or filling them in, the coloring sheets. So just call us again and we will put you on the Zoom link and get that out to you. Joan, do you have anything else you want to add?
A couple other things. One of our most popular offerings is haircuts on the go at the fire station, and those are continuing. Our next haircut date is Monday, December 7th, and you can call the COA for an appointment. We still have some appointments left. And also just reminding people that the next podiatry clinic will be on January 4th and January 11th. So if you're interested in that, give us a call and we'll give you all the information that you need. And I think that's it, unless you have more, Angela.
I do. I just want to remind people that come December, we are turning all of our exercise programs onto Zoom. And we would love to have more people join us. We have met the minimum number of participants, but would really like more. And since it's on Zoom, it's easy to do. And it's open to any age adult. So we hope people take advantage of it and keep our programs going. So on Monday, we'll have TAP at 1:30. Zumba will be on Tuesday at 10:45. Tai Chi on Tuesday at 12:30. Wednesday is line dancing, and that is at 1:45. Thursday, we have fitness at 9:45 and cardio boost at 10:45. And Sama, which I take and love, is on going back to Fridays. It was for November on Tuesday, but it will be Friday at 10:45. And for people who are doing fitness and cardio, we've gotten them some bands and some weights. And for Sama, Sarah's going to put together some kits for the attendees to be able to use at home. So that's exciting. We also have Elizabeth Brzezinski, who does Reiki from home. So it's distant. She calls you, she talks to you, and then she does the energy transfer when you're not on the line. So the people that have been participating in that have really enjoyed it. So if that's something you want to do, we can get the information from you and you can just call the COA and join us with that. Carrie, before we go on to a few other just special notes, is there anything you want to add?
Yes, there is just one thing, late breaking. Chuck Bagnashi produced and directed a really great segment on accessory apartments in Carlisle. You know, we always talk about how difficult it is to age in place as you get older and what few options there are for different kinds of more diverse housing in town. And we've had on the books the ability to build accessory houses, accessory apartments since I believe 1989. And in that time, there had been 25 accessory apartments built in Carlisle in various folks' properties. But we've developed some renewed interest in it. And since about earlier this year, we have 9 new folks that are applying for accessory apartments in town. So it's a real interesting uptick in activity, but it makes so much sense to be able to find a way in our kit bag of tools to increase the diversity of housing in town and make it easier to age in place or gain a little bit more income. So we, Chuck filmed a segment, I think earlier this week, and 3 of the folks who have accessory apartments spoke about their experiences in creating them. And George Mansfield, who's the planning administrator of town, talked about the rules and regulations of what it takes to get the process going. So that will be available on the COA website. You can view it on demand. There'll also be an article about it in the Mosquito next week. So look for accessory apartments. It's it's a success after 20 years in the making, and that was really well done and well attended. There were over 40 people attending that by Zoom. So check it out. Thank you.
Thank you, Carrie. I just wanted to remind people we do have a program, called Are You Okay? So if you live alone and you may not see somebody every day, and nowadays with COVID, that may be more likely to have happen, there is this program that you fill out the form that either you can get from the COA or from the police station, and you fill it out and you agree to have an automated phone call once a day at a certain time, and you can change the time by days of the week. And if you answer and press the buttons accordingly, like it will say press any button and you do that, then the system knows you're fine and you're up and moving, and they will automatically call you the next day. But if you don't answer, it will try you a few times. If you still don't answer, then they will have a policeman try calling you. If the policeman can't reach you, they will actually go check on you. And I was reading in the Globe 2 Sundays ago that I know in Carlisle, it saved at least 1 or 2 people's lives. But in Quincy, the same program has saved 22 lives. So I'm saddened that right now we don't have many people on this program. And, if you live with somebody, fine, there's somebody there that's most likely going to find you. But if you live alone and you may not have contact every day, or somebody may not think that you might be falling on the floor and can't get up, then please consider taking part of this very simple, very, very easy to join free program. And just call us or call the police and get a form and fill it out. So thank you for that. The other things that we have at the COA office that might be of interest is one, a file of life, which is you can put your name, your doctor's names, your contacts for emergencies, your prescriptions on a card, keep it on your fridge. And if you ever need an emergency responder, they will have that information available for you. We also have something called the yellow dot, which is the same kind of information, but you put it in your glove box. So if you're ever out and you're having an emergency, at least the first responders will know, because you're going to have a sticker in the back of your car and you can get one of those by coming into the COA office or calling us and telling us you will come in and pick up one. So, Clyde, anything you'd like to add about Medicare before we sign off?
I think I've said all I have to say for now, except get in touch with me and I'll think of 100 more things to say when I'm on the phone with you.
Anything you'd like to say about the medical equipment program?
Well, we've got lots of stuff and I just love lending it out because it reduces the congestion in our storage room. Mostly what I want to say though, Angela, is we're going to miss you. And it's been great. You've been a wonderful director of the CO outreach coordinator, and we really loved working with you.
Well, thank you. And I'm still going to be in town, and I'm still hopefully going to see you all and participate in the wonderful programs put on by the COA. I'm looking forward to being a senior rather than somebody helping them. Joan, anything from you?
Well, no, I mean, you know, luckily we still have another month, so I'm not ready to say any goodbyes to Angela right now. We're still trying to, you know, have her download her brain and her knowledge to the rest of us so that we can not miss a beat and drop the ball. But I know it's going to be extremely difficult. So, you know, I'm going to hold off on that till next time. But I just want to thank everybody for everything they've done to make this presentation so informative and helpful. And I appreciate it. And thank you for letting me be part of it.
And last thing I'd like to add is the COA can always use volunteers, whether you would like to be on the board, whether you would like to participate with the friends, whether you'd like to do Meals on Wheels or help on a program. We will eventually go back to having meals and other in-person events. We're looking forward to those days. But in the meantime, don't hesitate to reach out if you can help. And I know particularly Meals on Wheels, Debbie Farrow is usually looking for somebody to help on that. And you can do it once a month or once every other month. It's not a huge time sink. So with that, Carrie, I'll turn it back to you.
Well, thank you, Angela, and thank you, Clyde Kessel, for being with us and for your advice on Medicare. Thank you, Vanessa Maroney, for being with us from the Friends. Thank you, Chuck Magnashi, for creating another excellent edition of Carlisle Community Forum. And we'll see you next month.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Bye.